Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football. I'm your host, John the Big Tex Johnson. Uh, you have Cam Newton. You have Jameis Winston. We have Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Jacoby Brissett, Sean Kaiser, Tyrod Taylor. We have Britt Hundley. And just as of this week, found out that Geno Smith will be starting in front of an inactive Eli Manning, they say. That's 9 African American or Nubian quarterbacks that will be starting. It could actually be more. Let's just say, for instance, you have Dak Prescott, who's going to be the quarterback against the Washington Redskins, which was Kirk Cousins, which actually you would think, or you would have thought years ago, that RG3 would have been that quarterback that probably made 10 or 11. Then if you go take that and Colin Kaepernick still being with the San Francisco 49ers, make about 12. Uh, not saying that Britt Hundley was going to replace, obviously, uh, Aaron Rodgers. My point being is that you have this amount of quarterbacks, 9 quarterbacks going into I believe week 13, being starting quarterbacks in the NFL, uh, and that's a good thing. Uh, Not every African American quarterback or any quarterback for that matter is going to be the savior and all these other type of words. You're gonna have bust. You're gonna have not great players, stuff like that. Some should be in the league, some not in the league, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Got that. But there's still a stigma in the NFL where an African American quarterback that I don't think a lot of these owners still want to be the face of their franchise. I did a piece earlier last week on Lamar Jackson and how Lamar Jackson, even I saw some mock drafts, had him basically not even in the first round, probably going in the second round. A couple of picks to the Giants or whatever. We still don't know where the Giants are going to fall at third. Some I think might with the Jets. And people say, "Oh yeah, well they still have him in the roster," but they're not talking about him. It's like it's about, like I said, Sam Darnold from USC, and Josh Rosen from UCLA. I remember Josh Rosen coming out as a true freshman, starting UCLA and had a nice year. Then he missed basically all of last year, and then he had somewhat of a decent year this year, and they already have him coming out the first pick in the 2018 draft. Now, like I said to a person I was speaking about on one of my channels and whatnot on the YouTube channel, talking about, well, I didn't think he was being disrespected. I'm like, that Lamar Jackson wouldn't be disrespected. My point is that when they start talking about quarterbacks, right? It was a time that you had a body of work, that you were a winner and you were a great quarterback, a great athlete, whatever, what have you, and what, especially at the quarterback position, and especially if you won the Heisman. Heisman doesn't mean anything. The Heisman's been dead for years, as far as I'm concerned. Hasn't been all that great. I remember one year Gino Toretto won it for Miami. Gino Toretto, I don't even think he even played a down in pro. If he did, I think he got drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. He got cut. He didn't even really play, if I'm not mistaken. That's way back. But I understand that. And it's a college award, and that's the way it's supposed to stand. It's just like being an All American is a college award. But you have a resume. If you have the type of resume that someone like Lamar Jackson had, that automatically, from what he's already done, and he's all ACC first team again, and he's probably going to be offensive player of the year again, or probably MVP of that particular conference again, and probably All American, probably second team or something like that this year, because they're going to have to give something to Baker Mayfield. Those are your top quarterbacks, if you ask me. Now, like I said, you take Jackson, put him over to USC, they will be playing for the national championship, bar none. You take Sam Donald, put him over in Louisville with no defense, and I guarantee you're not even talking about this guy. Same with Rosen. Those guys are talented like quarterback. I don't think they should come out because I don't think they're ready. And Rosen doesn't even have a resume, but because the quarterback thirsty league that the NFL is and the future quarterback play, well, these guys can go get them a hefty payday at 22, 23 years old, or and haven't hardly at 22, 21, 22 years old, and haven't even hardly played and haven't even had the resume to somebody like Lamar Jackson. My point is that I don't even really think. And then when you have bonehead statements that are made by people like Bill Polian, who should know better than this, but he's from that school. And like I said before, some of these guys Things are changing, but some of these guys born in the 30s, 40s, and early 50s, they have a particular mindset that they still have. And it's sad. Your dual threat quarterbacks is coming out. Your quarterbacks is coming out all together, all across the nation, every 50 states or whatnot, coming out. These black quarterbacks are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They've always been there. They just never had an opportunity. Now they've had the opportunity. They're taking over. And I talked about this over 15 years ago with different people that I ran across 2 years ago when when I saw Randall Cunningham. I was like, Randall Cunningham and people like Michael Vick was not nothing new to a lot of African Americans that played. I played ball in Texas, so it's just like it wasn't anything new. The guy could do. People could do both. It's just they never got the opportunity when it got to the next level. If they got into college, or whatever, or possibly got in, tried to get into pro. So it was nothing new to us that they could do, that you could do both. Like Randall Cunningham, I'm like, no, I mean, new guys like that could do things like that. Vince Young, I mean, Vince, people like, oh, the size and this, that, and the other. Vince Young still be playing. But again, a lot of self-inflicted wounds. The point what I'm getting down onto here is the fact that I don't think a lot of these franchises and whatnot still have an issue with a quarterback being your face of your franchise. Case in point, you go through last week when they, for whatever reason, because he supposedly had a bad game, Tyrod Taylor. Now Tyrod Taylor, been in the league since 11. He actually has the funny thing. He actually has a Super Bowl ring because he was there with the Ravens when they won back in 2012, I believe. Right? You had him. Didn't play. He starts being the Bills starting quarterback in 2015. Correct? Now he got benched the other week, and then they came back, got him in the game and whatnot, and I think led to a victory. Now here are Tyrod Taylor's numbers for 2017. Tyrod Taylor's passed for 2,025 yards. Okay, 12 touchdowns. Okay, he's 64% pass completions. Correct. He has over 302 yards rushing, and he has 3 touchdowns. So he's accounted for 15 touchdowns and a 64% pass completion rate. Okay, I mean that's not bad stat. And 6-4 would have probably been 7-4, but yet they had the other quarterback come in who threw 5 picks and a half, which is absolutely ridiculous. Which that goes to the 3 picks that he's only thrown 3 picks the whole year in the 11 games. In the 10 games that he's basically played in. He's 6-4. The Bills still have a chance to actually make the playoffs and to do something. They have a good team. I think they've just been undercoached. They have some talent over there. Okay. Funny thing, he's been starting since 2015 over there. He's compiled a 20-18 record. 20-18 record. He's also been to a Pro Bowl, ironically enough. Now, let's talk about Kirk Cousins, who's playing tonight, right? People always say, damn, Tex, you're always on this Kirk Cousins. I say, well, being that I'm in Northern Virginia and Kirk Cousins keeps thinking, I think that he gets a raw deal. And what happens is now we have to get things down to the common denominator of everything. Because, again, you're playing in a league where if you're a quarterback and if you're playing, you're going to throw the ball at least 40 times a game, 40, 45 times a game. You have 3 and 4 receivers. You have everybody spread out. You're going to get, just as a quarterback throwing the ball, you're going to make some completions. The common denominator in this whole thing at the end of the day is winning. Now let's go to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, and I talked about it, so just go back and look at my whole thing about overrated or mediocre quarterback play in the NFL. And I talked about this before the season even started, right? And I talked about Kirk Cousins and his salary, the money, because he's getting franchised. This guy is probably getting ready to get franchised. He's made over $40-some-odd million in the last couple of years, right? 16 and this year here, right? Based off of what he did in 2015, okay? Being franchised because his rookie contract from 2012. Kirk Cousins going into tonight's game, he's putting up some nice gaudy stats. They even compared when they playing the Saints, he come up with some nice gaudy stats, great stats and stuff like that, and whatnot. Which, okay, fine, you got some stats. So what? I don't really care about your stats because at the end of the day, it's about winning, right? Kirk Cousins going into tonight's game, they're 5-6. He's going to have to go on if I'm the owner, for me to pay him any mind He has to win out. He has to at least get me to the NFC Championship game. That'll bust because I'm not paying you no more money. I wouldn't pay him that amount of money anyway. Kirk Cousins going into the nice game against the Dallas Cowboys and versus Dak Prescott, who's just going into his second year. Kirk Cousins is 22, 20, and 1. He's won one Pro Bowl, and they won the NFC East off of a year when Dallas should have won it for the second year in a row, but that's when Tony Romo was hurt and Dez Bryant was hurt, and the same guy that's hurt all the time for my Cowboys, the linebacker, always hurt. Okay, so that gave them the East. They played the Packers and got spanked in the first round. Done, right? He is 22, 20, and 1. 2 games above 500 at the salary that he's making. Oh, they say he's putting up these numbers. He's got numbers something like Drew Brees. The last 3 years, from 14, 15, and 16, with Drew Brees, the Saints had went 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. Now, Brees is going to the Hall of Fame based upon what he's done. I'm not trying to say that. I'm like, I'm just like, if Brees is going to get to where they're at now, they had to start making moves. But he went 7-9 3 years in a row. 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, 3 years in a row. 7-9 out the playoffs. So Brees has been out of the playoffs for 3 years, right? Now, like I said, Cousins, with the salary that he's making, 22, 20, and 1. Tyrod Taylor started in 2015. They came in the league a year difference. Tyrod Taylor came in 2011. Cousins came in 2012. Okay, they both took over the starting reins at quarterback in 2015. Tyrod Taylor is 20 and 18. Kirk Cousins 22, 20, and 1. Right? He has gaudy stats. Give him gaudy stats. 22, 20, and 1. He's a loser. Both of them have went to Pro Bowls. So what is the difference? So I know Tyrod Taylor is not getting paid, not even close to that amount of money. So my point is, with mediocrity at quarterback, and you're paying this guy this amount of money, okay, you can find this anywhere. You can find this anywhere. But the point of this whole piece that I'm doing is that I'm saying that somebody like Tyrod Taylor got yanked for not a good game when the Bills had basically would start off good, and it was a time when the Bills were 5-2, and they were balling, and they have talent on that squad. They yanked this guy, Tyrod Taylor. How do you yank somebody after? Again, Nick Wright said it best. Black quarterbacks are on a shorter leash than that of white quarterbacks. And it's still the stigma in the NFL, and it's a disrespect to a lot of quarterbacks. The black quarterbacks here to say, you could try to talk crap about the pistol, the RPO. It is in the game now. There's no getting around it. It is in the game. And these are the type of quarterbacks like a Deshaun Watson, like a Lamar Jackson, like a Cam Newton. These guys are the new wave of quarterback that you're going to have to deal with. Lamar Jackson is scary. He gets past the linebackers, it's over with. You 6'4", 215 pounds. He's running a 4.3. And like I said, you run that RPO, the end can't touch the quarterback. He can't touch him. Used to be you ran a veer option, you smacked the quarterback, whether he had the ball or not, made him think about hurry up and pitch that ball, or I'm gonna knock you out. You can't touch him. The end, there's no technique no more. They're not gonna don't even block the end no more. Let him do that because they figure he ain't gonna touch me. He can't do nothing. He's going for the run because these ends do not know anything about running, playing the option or playing against teams when you have option type quarterbacks where you have the quarterback first. That's your responsibility because of the ignorance of defense and lack thereof defense in the league and in tackling nowadays. They can run that RPO all day. You see Marcus Mariota running up down the field 40 yards. Cam running up down the field. It's like it's there all the time because some guys don't know what to do. So why wouldn't you have that in the league? So these are your new faces. So they're here to stay. And you could try to diss them and try to talk shit about them and everything like that and not mention them in your draft boards and try to say, oh, he's not a pro-style type. What is a pro-style type quarterback? Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl basically running the same type of when he was the NFL MVP. He accounted for almost 50 touchdowns. And you're going to tell me he can't play? But you want more of a pro style. Pro style is equivalent to these people saying, just like they did in the NBA, half court offenses or half court basketball play as opposed to urban style rip and run up down the field, down the court. That's not gonna that won NBA championships in LA. Let's just put it that way. I don't even have to name who it was. You're not gonna tell me it can't happen. You have to have the right coach. Deshaun Jackson in 6 games, but he's accounted for what? 21 touchdowns in 6 games? And the guy's hurt. You going to tell me these guys can't play? O'Brien did the smart thing. Unlike these other coaches, I'm not bending to this. He has to come into my system. That type of BS. You follow? Well, I still feel a lot of these owners do not want these young guys, they want none of these African American, these Nubian quarterbacks as the face of the franchise, but they're coming. They're not coming, they're here. And you're going to have to deal with them. And you go to somebody like Cam Newton has been to a Super Bowl. Hell, Jacoby Brissett, who should be on somebody's roster next year. I don't know what's going to happen in Indianapolis because that whole Irsay is a mess over there. But Andrew Luck is the quarterback of that team. But he hasn't done anything in 2 years. But you hear somebody like Colin Cowherd. Oh, the beard. He hasn't played ball in 2 years, dude. Like I said, I did a piece on him. He's Burt Jones. If anybody do your homework on Burt Jones and come back at me, he's Burt Jones. And he's a Texas kid. I like Luck. He's a bigger version to me of Aaron Rodgers. The man, he can't stay healthy. He just cannot stay healthy. You can say whoever, I don't care who fault it is, no line, whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. He can't stay healthy. Jacoby Brissett as a Super Bowl ring being on the Patriots team. I just told you Tyrod Taylor from the Baltimore Ravens. Cam Newton went to a Super Bowl. You got Russell Wilson, who's 1-1, who should be 2-0, but we already know about that story there, right? Dak Prescott went 13-3 last year. He's on the skid now. I think they can jump up and get a run going on. Good quarterback, but at the same time, he has to cut down the mistakes and everything like that. But these guys are here. These are the faces of your franchise, and I think a lot of people don't want them to be the face of their franchise. And somebody like Lamar Jackson should be mentioned along with everybody else. I shouldn't have to be doing a piece on him. He based on his career and what he's done, he should be the first quarterback mentioned in the draft. But you're talking about when you have critics literally saying, and players or old players that talk about in the college football saying, those guys between Rosen as well as Darnold do not need to come out. Do not need to come out. But they're going to probably end up coming out. People say, it's a weak quarterback draft or whatever like that. I'm like, you could not. I say, people will be a fool, whoever it may be, because it may be Cleveland again. Someone might be Cleveland again. I don't know. I think Deshaun Kaiser could be okay. I say he's in a cesspool over there in Cleveland until Cleveland cleans house and get a real coach up in there, or they let them do something. Cleveland's going to be having issues. But someone will be a fool to pass up on Lamar. Whoever gets Lamar Jackson is getting a gem. You know what I'm saying? You've got Baker Mayfield. I like Baker Mayfield's game. But I don't know how that's going to translate. It can still translate. But my point of it is, talking about this, really come back down to, again, that of Lamar Jackson. And then how is he not mentioned with these other quarterbacks? How do you disrespect him? Right? Because, again, like I said, you do not think, and because, like I said, because he's pro style, you're trying to say that he can't think. See, that's the hidden racism aspect in the game. Or it's a chicken shit way out of, instead of that going through your progressions and read. That's what you hear guys like Colin Cowherd say. No. You have to make a play. It's about moving the chain. Move the chains. That's what it's all about. I told you a few weeks ago, last week, where Jay Cutler, who has the biggest arm I've ever seen, one of the biggest arms you've ever seen, this guy here Wide open field. You think he was going to run? No, I don't run. That's not what I do. So I threw the ball behind the guy, and that's it. He could have ran. If that would have been somebody like, let's say, Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson, even Russell Wilson, if it's not that, I'm gonna make the play. First down, let's keep moving. You can't be like, oh, I don't see nothing there, and throw the and fling the ball out of bounds. You have to start making plays in this league based upon how it is. Because little did anybody know, pro foot, and I was going to do another piece on this. I can mention in this. Pro football has become college football. Look at the linebackers now. They all wear 40 numbers. They all wear 40 numbers. You're talking about the RPO, run pass option. How's a run pass option to come into the NFL? You couldn't have veer quarterbacks couldn't even come into the league unless they either switch positions. Now you have this since 2012. Or going back to even if you want to bring in Cam Newton and all them other guys and stuff like that, these guys can do it both. Dual threat quarterbacks. You can't pass up on them. The athletes, it's just like these pitchers in the American League or National League. Well, I don't know which league it is, where a pitcher, where all of a sudden you can pitch, but you don't know how to hit now, or they don't have to hit. It's ridiculous. You're an athlete, right? So let's get this thing together. But my point is that still have a lot of these owners, GMs, and coaches that do not want these quarterbacks, these black quarterbacks, to be the face of the franchise. Otherwise, you will mention these guys. Like I said, I did a piece on Russell Wilson. People act like Russell Wilson don't exist. I'm like, have you seen this guy's record since? He's another guy in the 2012 draft. This guy's won over 60-some games, and he's winning 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1-1. Hasn't had a losing record yet in the league. He came in, and he's not even mentioned amongst elite quarterbacks. You follow? So again, like I say, you have to get to a point where it's like we can no longer not talk about this type of stuff. You know, so this is what gets me. So it's like, no, so I don't think they want that, but it's like these guys are here, and there's no getting around if you want to try to win. They still want to keep it to like the Brady-esque type guys and Peyton Mannings and guys like that. They fine or whatever, but it's like Manning, Brady's on his way out. You got these guys, these edge rushers or these defensive ends, outside linebackers winning 4.3 40s. Dude, the only reason that he's even able to do some of the stuff they're doing, you can't intimidate nobody no more, and you can't touch the quarterback. You can't touch him. You cannot touch him. So you can stay around. It's not taking anything from Brady. I'm just saying, but you have to have an athletic quarterback nowadays who can do everything, who can run and throw. It just so happened to be African American is the main ones to do that stuff, and they can do it at a high level at both levels. When you start getting quarterbacks coming in through and can throw for 2,000 or 3,000 yards and rush for 600 or 700 yards. That's what you have. That's what has to get done if you're going to be winning this thing. And these guys have the ability to do this if these coaches let it happen, instead of trying to turn them into pro style type quarterbacks. What is a pro style type quarterback? He drops back, he goes through his progressions, he reads and whatnot, and he doesn't take off. No, I mean, those days slowly but surely gone. Make a play, move the chain, stay on the field, and get in the end zone. That's what it's all about nowadays. That's all it's always been about. You follow? So so that needs to go, man. So that stuff like that needs to go. So somebody like this, like Lamar Jackson, if Lamar Jackson's passed up, I say it's a damn shame because there's no way that should ever happen. Now I went on pretty long up on this and everything, but check me out over at Everything Football 62 on my YouTube page. Check me out on my Twitter, Everything Football 62 on Mid 62, and leave some comments. Subscribe to the page and everything. Leave a comment. We start some dialogue and whatnot. Getting ready to check this game out for a few and see what these Cowboys are going to do. They need to get it going on. But yeah, these quarterbacks are here to stay, man, and need to start paying these guys the respect that they have. And like I said, keep this in mind. I'll say this one more time. And a lot of people don't even know this and it went over everybody's head. I'll say it again. Kirk Cousins is 22-20-1. He hasn't won anything at all, but he's getting paid all this money. Tyrod Taylor is 20-18. They both started becoming the full-time starters for their teams in 2015. And that's all I'm gonna say. And like I said, that Tyrod Taylor don't have to do all these things or whatever because he has a running game for the most part with Shady. But again, the record. And you can throw for all these yards, but if you're not winning, what good is it? That's the common denominator. That's the common denominator. Are you winning? And Kirk Cousins has shown that when the money's on the table, he doesn't know how to get it done. A lot of these other quarterbacks can get it done, and they should have the opportunity and chance to have it done. But you can guarantee that Tyrod Taylor is not seeing $20-some-odd million. And he's been in the league since 2011. It's just a year difference. And his record is basically the same. I don't want to hear anything about all of the stuff. Fine. You're throwing the ball all over the place. Fine. That's cool. Shit, Blake Bortles threw for 35 touchdowns one year. Now he's just trying to get his act together, and they're playing some good ball, but they're playing good ball based on defense and a good running game with Leonard Fournette. And he hasn't really turned the ball over that much, or what have you. But one year he threw for 35 touchdowns. But he's winning on another. He's helping winning on another, and it's not really per se because of him. So we'll see what happens though. But the stigma needs to stop. The black quarterback is here, and stop trying to act like he's not, and not wanting to make him the face of your franchise. That's ridiculous, guys. It's about winning games. It's about making plays and winning games. All right, y'all have a good one.